AQ Infinity, AQ Unity, AQ 2D, AQ Mobile. If any of these 4 names, which are the big 4 names, ring any bell to you, this is because this is the new game which Artix Entertainment is putting out based around AQW. Basically, it's going to be their new poster child, hopefully. In today's video, I want to go through my thoughts of the actual game, and hopefully they can improve on it because I really want it to succeed, and hopefully it goes that way. However, let's continue and I'll go through my thoughts and different feelings. Okay, so if we're going to talk about the actual game itself, let's start at the start. The class system. Currently we have Mage, Healer, Rogue, and Warrior. These 4 classes are very nice to be basic classes, however I do think they should include some more classes. Obviously you have the classes in the game which you've seen before, similar to those, kind of like Ninja, Dragon Slayer, Rust Bucket, Alkalite, Oracle, Pirate even. I think they should consider actually including a few more of those classes which are kind of seen as basic or beginner classes for the early game, or maybe rework the starting classes, 4 ones I mentioned at the start, just to give it a bit more depth. I really wish we could use those classes for a bit further in the game, maybe mid-game, as you do see things such as like WoW and other MMORPGs allowing you to use these beginning classes which they do give you in late game. Even though they may not be the best thing ever, you still get a chance to use them, because at least then they're still somewhat viable, because in AQW you get to a point of about level 15 almost, and those bosses are way too hard for you to solo in at any point, and you need to switch classes, whether it's to Ninja, Dragon Slayer, which isn't really that good anyway, Pirate's pretty good at soloing, party workers like Oracle and stuff, you can even solo with Oracle as well, but you get my point. I think overall redoing the class starting system and upgrading it or redoing it completely is probably going to be a good idea for them. The next thing I want to mention is I want them to redo the leveling system. In AQW it feels to me like leveling's kind of been inflated over the years, which is completely fine. It's happened in other series such as World of Warcraft. However, in World of Warcraft Classic, they've basically redone that, so you start at the original starting level and each expansion they'll increase the level cap going forward. I think they should do a similar thing here with AQ Unity, or AQ Infinity, whatever you want to call it, and I personally think that starting at about level 30 would be a good cap. Then over the months or years, preferably like half year to a year span, maybe increasing them every 6 months or every year, going to like level 50, level 65, level 80, level 90, level 100, etc, etc. And I just think it'll keep players actually coming back to the game, and maybe not having that feeling of, oh, I've reached level 100, that's it, I don't have anything else to look forward to, I don't have anything else to grind, are they going to increase the level cap even further? And overall I think that's probably a better way to do the game. Okay, and post the leveling, to work towards that as well, me and Halimod have talked on this on his stream and just about this in general, for this next point, is basically going to be focusing on a single saga. Both of us, and I feel like other people would agree on this, we don't want AQW to have this weekly release system where I'm getting content pumped out to me at a good rate. However, there's a problem with that because I don't care about half the things being given to me. I want to be given stuff I care about, stuff which is of quality content. I know weekly releases and birthdays and other events need to work out in some regards. However, I think focusing on something like the Chaos Lord Saga is probably going to give them a better odd at people basically playing the game and enjoying it. We don't need to include everything straight away. I'm not saying that. I think maybe including the first couple of sagas and going from there is probably a smart idea. Maybe 2 or 3, possibly even 4. But yeah, hopefully the progression will be a bit slower, maybe a bit more in-depth. Quests maybe a bit more in-depth. Fighting in general, obviously they're trying to rework that system and adding dodges and whatever. But I think adding more in-depth to fighting and the class system and everything else will basically make the game more fun, especially these sagas. If they work on these sagas as well, I think definitely including more mechanics towards the bosses like we see in the ultra fights to these high level bosses at the time. They will be high level, hopefully, and just allowing us to actually have fun with the game and just experience new stuff. I don't want a carbon copy of AQW thrown into AQ Infinity. I just want stuff which is obviously nostalgic and a really good story, but I want it to be refreshing in the same regards. Another thing I want to mention is, as I said, I want players to actually feel like they have something to come back to eventually. I want AE to include reoccurring content for players so people can actually stick to the game. Whether this is like daily quests for some factions, raids, or dungeons with chests and slight rewards that way. I think a good thing to look at is like Final Fantasy and World of Warcraft. I've played World of Warcraft more, so I'll talk on that, but you're able to do group raids with people, or possibly even dungeons, and you get a reward at the end, and you can farm things like mounts. Personally, I really like farming mounts. I think having something similar towards that in the game, possibly like, I don't know, for example, in every different dungeon you get a cool little mimic chest, which is a 1% drop rate, and this mimic chest can do certain things, or give certain boosts. However, it's only like a daily thing or a weekly thing, and the percentages vary depending on the rarity of the item, etc, etc. They may do something similar in AQ3D, but I'm not too sure because I haven't delved too much into that game. However, I think doing stuff like that will be a really good thing. Okay, and finally is going to be the guild system. I think this needs an upgrade and it needs to be flushed out completely. As you may see in AQW, the guild system was supposed to be flushed out and fully upgraded with quests and banks and different types of rewards, whatever it was supposed to be. I think they should fully do that in the next game. I don't know why it wasn't. It would have been really cool. The guild hall as well, some ideas which never really got fully functional in game. It was just kind of dropped. It felt more like a party of people where you could talk in a guild chat, and anything else? Nope. That was about it. You could promote people and demote people and kick people. A very basic guild feature which most games have anyway and flush out fully, which should be kind of expected of AE. You should really fully flush out a game feature like that, as a lot of people do need interaction in the game, which is an MMORPG, and having rewards and quests and banks and other features which people are able to use would be a very, very good idea. I'm just saying. I'm not trying to throw shade, I'm just saying it is a very good idea to fully flush this out. I feel like a lot of people would get some extreme use out of it. Either way, I think that's going to be it for the video. If you have any other ideas or you don't like my ideas, please let me know. However, I think some of my ideas are pretty good. Some of them may be already being implemented into the game, I'm not too sure. I don't really keep up with AQ Infinity too much, but hopefully some will do. Some are going to be implemented, but we'll wait and see because the game isn't fully functional yet. And we'll wait for the final release, which hopefully won't be in a few years. Hopefully in a year or in a year and a half, 2 years max. Either way, I'm Falco. I hope you have a good day, good night, good evening, whatever time it may be for you. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.